First of all, I wanted to thank you guys very much for being part of my community. I appreciate you. I am so grateful for being part of my community and being interested in these audio cliff notes for You Too Can Be Prosperous by Robert A. Russell. It is definitely my favorite book so far of 2022 as of August. And as I mentioned in my email, you know I love reading. I tend to read about 50 books a year, and I tend to underline and take notes. So this is a benefit that you get as being part of my community. A lot of cliff notes. I did this a couple of years ago. I gave you a list of about 10 or 15 books that I have cliff notes of. If you also want those, email me at joel@solomore.com. What I didn't mention in that email was a lot of the concepts in this book are part of my Money Miracles membership. Now, you may already be part of the Money Miracles membership. If you are, feel free to pass the link on below this video audio to somebody you know who you think could benefit. We talk a lot about affirmations. We talk about prosperity practices. We talk about the 9 money rules millionaires use, the concepts from my book. And a lot of these are also in this book, You Too Can Be Prosperous. I think that's why it resonated so well with me. So I'm excited to share these cliff notes with you, these audio cliff notes with you. Please share the link to my Money Miracles membership. We're starting up again in September 2022. If you're listening to this past September 2022, I'm sure it will be starting again shortly, and you can pass on the link. You'll get put on the waiting list if the membership is not open at the time you're listening to this. So without further ado, You Too Can Be Prosperous by Robert A. Russell. Preface. I am prosperity. Say it 100 times. Yes, literally. Repeat this practice at intervals until the words and their meaning become your basic thought pattern and integral part of you. Chapter 1, the prosperity idea. If you follow the instructions in the preface and the mental soil was right, you started a vibration that will make all your dreams and wishes come true. You started a train of causation that will spread like wildfire until it touches every corner of your world. You started a flow of prosperity action that will drive every condition of want and lack from your life. What is your want? An apartment, a position, more money, or better health? Then drop your idea into the fertile medium of the subconscious. Plant it deep. Cultivate it with recognition. Fertilize it with concentration. Nourish it with faith, and activate it with your consciousness. But how can I think prosperity when there are so many other things to think about, you ask? You can do it by making prosperity your basic or fundamental thought. That is, the master or primary thought from which all other thoughts take their color, tone, trend, and quality. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." The way to eradicate the old process of worry is to form a bigger concept of confidence. As the confidence thought grows, the mental path of worry will gradually fill up from disuse. The old path will grow less and less distinct until it gradually disappears. Once the new path is outlined and adopted, it must be repeated again and again with great conviction and feeling. You must make it an intimate, vital, and predominating, everlasting quality of your thought. I am conscious. I am confidence. I am prosperity. I am power. I am success. Feel what you say. Feel it deeply and with great joy. Dwell on the statements until they are firmly synchronized with your emotional nervous system. There are several rules that will aid you in doing this. 1, refuse to use the old habit path under any circumstances. 2, keep your thought changed out of the negative path and hold it in the positive. 3, charge the new thought action with hope, power, belief, conviction, and determination when you express it. Just an aside, belief is rule number 1 in the 9 money rules millionaires use. 4, make your new pattern as clear, strong, deep, and positive as you can. And 5, make opportunities for traveling over this new path as often as possible. Why? Must the new thought pattern be couched in the present tense? Life always works in the present tense by direct affirmation. To affirm our good in the present is to cause it to appear. I bolded that. Law plus acceptance plus belief is the pattern. If the idea of prosperity is to become a power in our lives, we must inwardly accept it as a present fact. Now put down the book, close your eyes, or just pause the audio, relax, and repeat the affirmation slowly and with pointed purpose 100 times. I am prosperity. Take it easy and feel your pattern deeply. Realize that with each repetition, your new idea is going further and further on the ground until it is perfectly integrated with the creative mind. If you want prosperity, don't say, I want to get rid of poverty. Be affirmative and positive. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Here is your 7-day assignment. Are you ready for an assignment? For the next 7 days, work deliberately and with persistence on this one idea. I am prosperity. Try to think of nothing else and to feel nothing else for that period of time. I bolded this. This doesn't mean you will get what you want in 7 days, although it could happen. Just watch your thought, attitude, feeling, and conversation during that period of time to see that you don't revert to your old way of thinking and feeling. If you are serious about changing the automatic expressions of your life, here is a suggestion. The association method is a great boon to establishing new habits. I bolded this. Take any article that you handle on a daily basis many times, your watch, phone, pen, pencil, toothbrush, knife, fork, spoon, drinking glass, towel, or key, and say every time you pick it up, I am thinking of prosperity. I am thinking of plenty. I'm thinking of abundance. This is my parentheses, or you could just say, I am prosperity. You turn on the ignition to your car a dozen or more times a day. Use this act as an association process. Let it remind you that you are prosperous. Accept the reminder when you unlock the door of your house, when you open your safe, when you stamp your letters, and when you spend your money, when you put on your clothes, when you open your wallet, when you wash your dishes, or when you use your phone. If you do this intelligently and systematically for a period of even 7 days, you will be amazed at the beneficial changes and blessings that will come into your life. Parentheses, try it. Close parentheses. Chapter 2, what prosperity is. Prosperity is not a matter of money. Prosperity is a state of well-being. Riches come by the same law that metal objects come to a steel magnet. The power of attraction is not in the bar of steel, but in the invisible force with which it is charged. The universe will supply all your need according to his riches and glory. If we want a crop, we must cultivate the soil and plant the seed. If we want iron, silver, and gold, we must dig for them. So it is with the wealth of the universe's kingdom. True prosperity is not an end in itself, but a means to greater freedom, increased livingness, and fuller expression of life. It is related not to the number of times that a man owns, but to the satisfaction he finds. Let me repeat that. It is related not to the number of things that a man owns, but to the satisfaction he finds in the way he uses them, to the happiness he derives from them. The dictionary defines prosperity as a state of being prosperous, advance or gain in anything good or desirable, successful progress, attainment of the object desired. To prosper in the sense is to have access to everything where and when it is needed. I bolded this. It would enable one to face the future with the certain knowledge that whatever you needed would always be present when the need appears. There are many reasons why we fail to attract what we want from life. The chief causes of failure are our limited capacities and our feeble expectations. We ask for inferior things, which we might just as well have the best, when we just might as well have the best. We are like the woman who prayed that she might reach her uncle's bedside before he died instead of praying that her uncle might be healed. There is an important lesson here which we must not miss. If you need a car, why should you limit the response to a Ford when there are Cadillacs to be had? When we ask for inferior or lesser things, we do so because our faith in the universe's promise is weak. If the universe is impersonal law and there is no great and no small, as Emerson says, it makes no difference to the universe whether we ask for the most expensive or the cheapest article, The universe gives one just as readily as the other. We should always expect something better than the particular thing for which we have prayed. It is futile to tell a man steeped in poverty that he can be prosperous, but to give him the idea entering a new state of consciousness is to clarify for him the means of securing prosperity. One cannot separate the universe from its manifestations. It is right to pray for material things when we have the mental equivalent of them. In other words, when we have made ourselves worthy of them. When we relinquish our love of things, we can have them in abundant measure. What things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them and ye shall have them. Again, rule number 1 from the 9 money rules millionaires use. The prayer, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as in heaven. What are we asking for in this part of the prayer? We are asking that the invisible world of thoughts and the visible world of things become one. Life is a state of consciousness. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Change your consciousness, change your world. In the universe, there is but one law, one presence, one power, one substance. That substance is energy, choosing to condense itself through your consciousness. Parentheses, in the 9 money rules millionaires use, I am quoted as saying money is energy. As one writer states it, when you think of your money, which is visible as something directly attached to an invisible source that is giving or withholding, according to your thought, you are the key to all riches and lack. 10 things to remember when demonstrating prosperity. I bolded this. 1, the mental process necessary to a greater income is a matter of recognition, acceptance, and belief. This mental experience must precede any material manifestation. 2, supply is fundamentally an invisible thing. It is the receiving into your consciousness this spirit of the universe, which created all things from the beginning and out of which all things are formed. 3, the metaphysical method for demonstrating prosperity is to put prosperous ideas to work. 4, poverty is a state of mind. We bring about this manifestation by our negative recognition, acceptance, and belief. 5, we overcome poverty by mastering the sense of every kind of lack. We look not to the world of things, persons, and places in solving a problem of supply, but look within our own consciousness. 7, we master the sense of want by building an inner sense of plenty. 8, we can have anything we desire if we believe that we already have it. 9, prosperity is not a matter of education, training, working, savings, investing, struggling, or denying yourself. It is a matter of getting into harmony with the law of your own consciousness, own individual consciousness, and then following the law to its logical conclusion. And 10, the permanent source of our prosperity lies in our power to possess and to mold in our thought, the universe, substance. Chapter 3, the source of wealth. Where does all the money come from? It all comes from the one primordial spiritual substance out of which all things are created. Our thoughts, our words, our bodies, our food, our clothing, everything that appears are created from the substance. Repeat your affirmation, I am prosperity. How is this idea going to become substantial in your experience? By letting it form in you a consciousness of itself. Know that you are in the very scent of creative mind and that it is at work now producing the thing imagined in your thought. Thank the universe that it is at work on it now, bringing it into fulfillment. Things to remember about substance. 1, everything is made from one universal substance. 2, universal substance is intelligent. It is a living, thinking substance. 3, universal substance is activated through faith and thought. Thoughts impressed upon this thinking substance produce the form of thought. 4, universal substance is omnipresent. It permeates, penetrates, and interpenetrates all space. 5, the universe is friendly to your needs. The universe wants you to have all the substance you can use. 6, when you start to demonstrate prosperity through metaphysical law, you must look to substance and not to man. You must live and think in the opulent bounty and goodness of the universe. 7, your point of contact with substance is recognition. 8, what you receive from the universe will turn upon your belief, rule number 1, that you already have it. You must think of everything you want in terms of actual present ownership. 9, Don't pray for more substance, but more capacity. 10, since there is not time but now, you must always act in the present. 11, when you make a claim on universal substance, have a well-defined mental picture of what you want. Vague, misty, and indefinite pictures do not accumulate substance. 12, never look at the visible supply. Look always at the limitless riches in formless substance and know they are coming to you as fast as you can receive and use them. 13, think of the substance as wax and of your thought as a dye making an impression on the wax, and there you have the whole picture. 14, no depressions, hard times can defeat the man who looks to substance for his supply. 15, if you would have the cooperation of your whole mind to what you are doing, never speak of your failures, losses, shortages, or limitations. 16, riches that are secured by dishonesty and manipulation are dissipated by the same powers. 17, the thought that defeats substance is the thought of competition. 18, if you get money on a competitive basis, it is always subject to loss. 19, when you get money on the competitive plane, you take from others. When you get it on the creative plane, you give to others. And 20, remember that the thing you desire is the universe wanting it through you. Chapter 4, the magic box. If you had a little magic box in your home that produced whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted, whenever you open the lid, what would happen to your state of consciousness, your thoughts, your feelings? That's a rhetorical question, by the way. The first thing that would happen would be a complete change in your thinking. All fear would go out of it, all worry or lack, and all sense of insecurity. Knowing that you could go to your magic box as often as you needed would eliminate all sense of limitation and strain on your mind. There would be no more poverty in your life. Do I hear you say that this is all a lot of nonsense, a figment of the imagination? You are wrong. The box is a symbol of your consciousness. And to approach it in the right way, with the right idea in mind, is to cause the box to open and to remove all want from your life. What is the way that miracles work? It is the way of consciousness. Life is a state of consciousness. How does one renew his mind? By changing this thought. How shall we restore soundness in the presence of a weak and debilitating belief? By changing the thought out of it and by keeping it changed. Remember that a person always gets the things and conditions that belong to their consciousness. Isn't it perfectly obvious, therefore, that the way out of an impoverished condition is through a change in consciousness? In fact, it is the only way you can change anything in your life. If you tell me that you are out of things or that you have a small salary, I say, look to your consciousness. Put things right there. Find the offending thought or belief and reverse it. The word is creative, as Emmett Fox says, and the strongest and most creative word is I am. We talk about this also in the Money Miracles membership. And in fact, we have a powerful abundance meditation that is available in the Money Miracles membership, which has a lot of I am statements. Whenever you say I am, you are calling on the universe to do something for you, and it will do it. Whenever you say I am, you are drawing a check upon the universe. It will be honored in cash sooner or later, and the proceeds will go to you. Whenever you say I am divine life, I am divine truth, I am divine freedom, I am divine substance, I am eternal substance. Great affirmation, by the way, I'll repeat it and you can write it down. I am divine life, I am divine truth, I am divine freedom, I am divine substance, I am eternal substance. You are drawing a check on the bank of heaven, and surely that check will be honored with health and plenty for you. Whatever you believe becomes. Whatever you think expresses. As a man thinketh in his I am, so are his circumstances. Do you grasp that principle? You who are looking for better jobs, more income, greater freedom, did you ever stop to consider why it is that a person who has made a fortune and lost it can make another one faster than the person who never had one? It is because their consciousness is greased in that direction. One of the reasons people fail to demonstrate sufficient income is that they imagine something other than the universe is their source of supply. Another reason is that they try to build prosperity without the universe. We cannot function from the source of supply without the universe. It is important to make up your mind about the things you wish to manifest, but it is more important to be willing to change your mind in order to get them. Your business is with the universe. Nothing else matters. If you fail to receive the riches that are rightly yours, it means that you are in the universe's way. What does it mean to fill the consciousness with the thought of the universe? It means to practice the presence for 24 hours a day. It means to keep the universe in the forefront of your mind. Say, I am God and there's none else. Or if you don't like the word God, say, I am the universe and there is none else. Goethe, the German philosopher, said, the highest and most excellent thing in man is formless, and we should guard against giving it shape in anything less than noble dress. This is just another way of saying that we have within ourselves the capacity to receive larger and richer gifts. Charles Fillmore says, there is an inherent law of mind that we increase whatever we praise. The whole of creation responds to praise. Bless your business, your employees, your customers, and your cash register. The trouble with most people who get into financial difficulties is that they become worried, fearful, and depressed. Their lack becomes such an obsession that they cannot think of anything else. They do not realize that mental depression is the very thing that defeats them and holds them in want. What shall we say to these people? We shall tell them that the outcome of their difficulties depends entirely on their attitude and trend of mind. How shall we raise the mental level at such a time? By changing our attitude and expressing the best from every person, place, and thing. You will give no power to failure, delay, doubt, disappointment, despair, reverses, misfortune, or bad luck. The four most important factors in manifesting greater prosperity are these. 1, remove every impediment and obstacle to the idea of prosperity. 2, create a deep and continuous desire for abundance. 3, become conscious of more of everything in your mind. And 4, use what you have. Every condition, every experience of life, says Robert Collier, is the result of a mental attitude. We can do only what we think we can do, and we can be only what we think we can be. Chapter 5, God loves a prosperous person. Our chief reason for claiming that God or the universe loves a prosperous person is that it is only as we experience good that the universe is expressed through us. Quote, I do not look to salary checks, honorariums, and handouts for my supply. I look to the formless substance of the universe, the same substance that awaits every person who will recognize it and use it, and to the universe within who possesses all things. It took me years to this understanding, and until I had it, I never got anywhere with my finances, always in fear, always in debt, and always in doubt, quote unquote. This man was not rich to begin with, but he conditioned his mind to receive divine gifts. The expression, the cattle on 1,000 hills, symbolizes everything on the material plane: money, houses, land, jobs, food, clothing, automobiles, everything. These things are yours. The gifts of the universe are not ours until we recognize them and accept them. We pray for prosperity, then we tell ourselves that it's impossible to be prosperous. I know of no one who does not at times say, I can't afford this or that. It is not a good idea to say such things. If we recognize ourselves to be children of the universe, we can afford anything we desire. We are limiting ourselves when we say that we cannot afford a thing. We do not limit the universe. We could not do that, but we limit our consciousness, shut it up so that we cannot receive our supply. I bolded this. The first step in manifesting an abundant supply is to know that you are one with the universe and that consequently all things are yours. Yes, everything: money, freedom, happiness, peace, health, wealth, and abundance, more than you can ever ask or think. What is your situation right now? Are you expressing debt instead of plenty? And something is wrong. You must hold to the cause, and that is yourself, your consciousness. Let's get rid of the idea that we are victims of circumstances. Poverty is not a verity, but an idea of lack operating in our minds. It is our failure to comprehend the universe. Since there is no lack in the universe, poverty can be changed. If we had a perfect consciousness of all the allness of the universe, we would automatically express prosperity in every department in our lives. The metaphysician insists that rich ideas are the first requisite in demonstrating prosperity. We activate prosperity in the same way that we activate health and power, and that is by the law of consciousness. Faith in the power of conviction. The universe is overflowing with abundance, but each man must fulfill his own destiny. When the impediment which is now obstructing the flow of your prosperity is removed, there will be an onrush of blessings which nothing can resist. The reason the universe loves a prosperous man is because he manifests, or they manifest, good in all its manifold expressions. How can you activate this substance and express abundance? How can you bring it into your experience? There is but one way. Behold. Quote, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any person opens the door, I will come into him and will sup with him. Did you hear? Did you notice that if has to do with opening the door? You can open the door through your awareness that the universe cannot know lack or poverty of any kind. The person most troubled by finances are the people who worship the dollar rather than the power behind it. Our government adopted the inscription, "In God we trust," for our money to remind us that God is the cause and supporting principle of all form. For those of you who are listening who are not in the United States, that is the US government. With the universe, all things are possible. He will use, or the universe will use, any and all channels to bring your good to you. Nothing can hinder or impede in action. St. Paul has defined faith as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Here is a powerful meditation. The cattle on 1,000 hills are mine, the world is mine, the universe is mine, for I am a child of the universe, free from all bondage. I am free, I am rich, I am powerful, I am one with all good, and everything is mine to use. I claim my highest good now, and nothing can keep it from me. Chapter 6, tuning out. We must admit to ourselves that failure to be prosperous is the result of a lack within ourselves. We have accepted the belief that prosperity is something outside of us instead of something within us. Realize that it comes through dwelling in a rich consciousness. Prosperity is. Your part is to accept it in your mind and to thank the universe for it. We want you to understand that your power to tune into the good is in direct ratio to your power to tune out the bad. Someone has said that fear is at the root of all our financial difficulties. Why? Because fear is more commonly associated with lack than any other one thing, and because it is a very powerful emotion. By the way, chapter 3 in the 9 money rules millionaires use is choose faith over fear. Now let us think of the things that must be tuned out of our lives before our reception of the good is perfected. What are they? They are small thoughts, fears, taboos, failures, disappointments, and inhibitions, superstitions, uncertainties, doubts, despairs, forebodings, prohibitions. They are the hurts, insults, injuries, criticism, self-pitying, self-condemnations, the remembered wrongs of the past. Put into words the superficial, immaterial, and unwholesome beliefs that clutter your life. Go down into the consciousness and take yourself apart. Then tune them all out of your life. Tune out every idea of cheapness, cheap clothes, cheap furniture, cheap food, cheap environment, and see yourself living prosperously as the universe intended you to live. It makes no difference how much you know about metaphysics, not how many affirmations you have memorized. You will continue to suffer until you tune out the mental causes of your suffering. Prepare your mind for the reception of good by first tuning out the evil, the fear. Begin your heart-to-heart talks by using such statements as these. Quote, I now demolish all the discordant, untrue records in my subconscious mind. They shall return to the dust heap of their native state of nothingness. I will be done once and for all with the past negatives of my life. They must not pass. Quote, I appeal to infinite spirit to open my mouth and to deliver me of all the old foundness, pestering sores, burdensome loads that have weighed me down these past years, to bring me release and relief and to lead me beside the still waters. Assignment number 1, go through your consciousness and make a list of all the things, events, and circumstances and experiences that you think may be responsible for your present state of finances. List all the things that have been troubling you, the position you lost, the deal that failed, the mistakes you've made, the small concepts that you have been holding, the mental burdens you have been carrying, and the malignant thoughts that have been festering in your mind. Bring them up from the cellar and expose them to the light. It may take a week or 10 days to drag all this rubbish out, but keep on until you get it all. Put each down on your life and resolve that you will never contemplate it again. If you have been in the habit of discussing financial difficulties, hard times with your family or friends, put that practice down. Resolve that you will never do it again. Assignment number 2, take another sheet of paper and make an inventory of all your possessions, including your house, car, clothing, furniture, jewelry, savings accounts, bonds, life insurance, stocks, mutual funds, etc. Let the material value of these things sink deeply into your mind. Revel in the prosperous feeling that they give you. Insurance companies place a monetary value on your eyes, arms, legs, and even fingers. If you totaled your physical assets on the standard compensation of insurers, you would be amazed how valuable you are. Assignment number 3. Now make a list comprising 1, all the things that are wrong in your life at the moment, and 2, all the things that are right. Do you know what you will find? You will find that things are about 90% right and 10% wrong. Then why are the ulcers and nerves? Because you are dwelling on the 10% that is wrong and ignoring the 90% that is right. How will you break this bondage? By acting, of course, with the 90% that is right. You will begin to think and act richly. Instead of wearing cheap clothes, you will buy good ones, etc. Assignment number 4. Now that you have your list, you are ready to tune the poor thoughts and beliefs out of your consciousness. A poor thought is what we have referred to as a soft spot or gap in consciousness. If the only existence poverty has is in the thoughts of man, to withdraw the belief in poverty is to destroy that poverty. Solomon, not me, King Solomon said practically the same thing in these words. Keep the heart, consciousness, with all diligence, for out of the heart are the issues of life. Let me repeat that. Keep the heart, consciousness, with all diligence, for out of the heart are the issues of life. This is a wonderful thought, for it means that there is no poverty, want, or depression in your life that is not maintained by your own thinking. In other words, there is no failure in your purse, bank account, business, or affairs. The whole basis for every loss, failure, or bankruptcy is in your consciousness. Everything I need is an instant manifestation. Assignment number 5. Now that you have isolated your poor thoughts or have them safely locked in your little box, you're ready for your next assignment. For the next week, beginning today, I want you to do the following. 1, keep all your troubles and problems locked up tight. Keep yourself in a relaxed state of mind for that period and refuse to think about them. 2, avoid speaking of negation, criticism, trouble, lack, depression, fear, doubt to anyone. 3, think prosperity, believe prosperity, talk prosperity, act prosperity, feel prosperity, be prosperous, look prosperous, and live prosperously. In fact, do everything prosperously, just as though you were the richest person in the world. By the way, if you are feeling these feelings of lack, you can use my favorite manifestation coach, Andy Dooley. Stop, cancel, clear, get the fear out of here. Or you could use the other F word. That's an aside, not in the book. So let's continue. Assignment number 5. I know this may sound ridiculous when perhaps you haven't enough money to pay the gas bill, but you must take a radical stand if you're going to succeed. Remember, you are dealing with an invisible substance which, although now conscious of your troubles, is waiting to shape itself around your thoughts and bring into your life the things about which you are thinking. That is why it is so important to keep your mind off your troubles and on the universe. The vital thing, as you can seek, is to never, under any circumstance, let me repeat that. The vital thing, as you can see, is to never, under any circumstances, to contemplate a thought of want. If poverty and prosperity are states of mind, you make your own depression. Chapter 7, tuning in. There are 3 things necessary for tuning into what you want. 1, a clearly formulated idea. 2, a word pattern to impress it upon the subconscious mind. And 3, faith to keep the idea growing. First must come the mental image, a clearly formulated idea. Second, the affirmation telling the subconscious that the thing imagined is already yours. And 3, faith to speed up the law of attraction. So just on a side, in the Money Miracles membership, I talk about 2 things whenever you're saying an affirmation or saying words that you want to have come into your life. 1 is belief on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is absolute faith and 1 is massive doubt. You want to be 7, 8, 9, or 10. And desire. You want to have a strong desire. So if 10 is a burning desire, 1 is, I don't really need it. 7, 8, 9, or 10, you want a 7, 8, 9, or 10 on desire and belief. So let's go back. There are 3 things necessary for tuning into what you want: a clearly formulated idea, a word pattern to impress upon the subconscious mind, and faith, that's belief, to keep the idea growing. First must come the mental image, a clearly formulated idea. Second, the affirmation telling the subconscious that the thing imagined is already yours. And third, faith to speed up the law of attraction. No matter how hard you may work for success, if your thought is saturated with thoughts of failure, it will kill your efforts, neutralize your endeavors, and make success impossible. So here is a summary of principles of manifesting prosperity. There are literally 26 summarized below. Summarized principles. 1, the purpose of this book is to plant the idea of prosperity so deeply in your subconscious mind that it will produce definite and concrete results in your life. This result can be accomplished by the direct and immediate use of your subconscious mind. 2, the starting point is the practice of the presence of the universe. You will do everything, thinking, speaking, acting, praying, working, as though you were actually in the universe's presence and as though the universe were doing these things through you. 3, practicing the presence of the universe merely consists of keeping the universe in the forefront of your consciousness as much of the time as you can. 4, when you have a problem, bring it into the presence and ask the universe to solve it for you. Do not struggle with the problem or turn it over in your mind, but place it lovingly, gently, and quietly in the universe's hands. 5, the next step is to free yourself from human thinking and material attachments. If all lack, limitation, and impoverishment stem from the human mind, to leave that mind is to leave the limitation, struggle, and stress. Let everything be done for you by letting everything be done through you. 6, if you turn within for the fulfillment of your needs, you will succeed. 7, the only effort required in metaphysical practice is to reach a certain state of consciousness or attitude of mind. 8, with all thy getting, get understanding. Understanding is sufficient for every need. 9, to bring any desire into the presence is to fulfill it. 10, if you would manifest abundance, do not identify yourself with lack, but practice the presence of the universe by seeing abundance everywhere and in everything. 11, practice the presence of the universe until every failure becomes a success. 12, if your desire is not fulfilled, it is because you are unconsciously denying it by fear, doubt, or worry. 13, to demonstrate a full, continuous, and irrevocable supply, you must turn from the carnal mind to the universal mind. 14, the human mind believes that forms, tangible things, are outside consciousness. It believes that circumstances are greater than the universe and that matter is more real than spirit. Under that belief, man becomes a servant of matter instead of its master. 15, consciousness is both the center and the circumference of everything in our lives. It is continually attracting or repelling something. 16, since this is a mental world, everything in it can be brought into our consciousness. Ernest Holmes said, in our mental treatments for prosperity, we resolve things into ideas, conditions, into states of thought, and act upon the premise that the thought is the father of the thing. This method is both direct and effective, and when rightly used, becomes a law unto the thing thought of. 17, everything in your life depends upon your consciousness. Change your consciousness, and you can change your life and your world. 18, the universal consciousness is realized through right thinking. 19, your responsibility is to know the trust and to think in the universe's presence. The power of your word is your consciousness. 20, since there is no law of poverty, there is no excuse for being poor. 21, when the thought of prosperity is firmly fixed in consciousness, its manifestation is certain. 22, when the proper pattern has been provided, abundance will flow through your consciousness and manifest itself in your affairs. 23, the prosperity which you affirm must be supported by a rich consciousness. 24, the prosperity that you seek is seeking you. 25, maintain the eye of expectancy. The more you expect, the more your consciousness will attract. And 26, you must know with your whole mind that there is no obstruction to the operation of the law of prosperity in your life. The all-providing power cannot flow through you while you hate, and the mighty gift that awaits you cannot materialize. The 4 parts of manifestation are these. 1, make your claim. 2, accept what you have claimed. 3, realize the peace that comes from the consciousness of fulfillment. 4, the materialization or outward manifestation of that which has been embodied within the thought. To fulfill the law of prosperity, see all things with the prosperous eye. 8, chapter 8. mind models. If you habitually think opulent thoughts, you will find prosperity on the material plane. The importance of persistence in spiritual work cannot be overemphasized. Spiritual gifts are the most expensive gifts in the world. Healing is expensive. Righteousness is expensive. Answered prayer is expensive. Prosperity is expensive. In fact, anything worth having is expensive. The power must be evoked by persistency, by seeking, and by wholehearted demands. The universe commanded us to ask, to seek, and to knock. Do you give up easily? Then change your ways. Give the universe no rest until the universe establishes what you desire. Keep on keeping on. Make your claim and press it. How to build your mind models. 1, simply take 5 or 6 index cards and print or write your desire on them. Then put the cards in the most conspicuous places in your home, office, and car. 2, the purpose of the mind model cards is twofold. To keep the picture of your desire before you as many hours of the day as possible, and 2, to keep an active relationship between the conscious and the subconscious mind at all times. The subconscious is receptive and suggestible. It embodies new ideas only through repetition, feeling, and realization. It responds only to the strongest and most insistent demands. It is imperative that you follow to the letter the instructions and repeat the affirmation many times a day. What is the affirmation? Whatever you desire. That was an aside. Having faced your need, you must convince yourself, again, that's belief, that what you need is already here. Is there plenty of money in the world? Do you know anyone who has plenty? Of course. Then get the feeling of it. If anyone else has plenty, you can have plenty too. Do you see why we fall over into the realm of the undesirable, into lack and limitation? Is because we believe that we are limited. Again, rule number 1 in the 9 money rules millionaires use. Your last question must always be this: is this desire of mine spiritually legal? Now, for a few minutes, turn back to the mind model given to you on the first page of the book. I am prosperity. Let's say it again. I am prosperity. Contemplate this thing we call prosperity. How can you register this idea in the subconscious mind so that it will become the inevitable expression of your ever-waking moment? Prosperity is a state of being. Now take your idea into the silence. Repeat it meditatively and thoughtfully many times. Relax from head to toe. Take a deep breath in and out. Get the emotional impact of the idea. Keep yourself consciously in the universe's presence and state your desire. Bring the universe, yourself, and your desire together in consciousness. The next step is to identify yourself with the object of your desire. If it is true of the universe, it is true of you. Know this. Make sure you are not emitting any thought that will in any way restrict the expression of your good. Now, we finish the book with meditations on prosperity. So here is step 1, or the first meditation. Say the words quietly and meditatively and with convincing tones. I am prosperity. And I'll leave time for you to repeat after me. Prosperity is the law of my life. This law is continuously operative in my affairs. I now open my mind, body, purse, business, and all else in order that this prosperity may flow through me in abundant measure. I am confident that I shall have plenty to meet every need when it is due. My income is in the keeping of infinite wisdom. My affairs are guided by divine intelligence. I am prosperity. There is no delay and no obstruction to the operation of this mind model. There is no confusion, contradiction, inhibition, doubt, or limitation factor of any kind associated with it. All that the universe has is mine now. Prosperity flows through me in an uninterrupted stream. eliminated everything unlike itself. There is nothing in me that can obstruct, congest, or retard my supply in any way. I am forever one with the infinite supply of the universe. It knows me, claims me, and rushes to me. I accept this supply for myself and for everyone who is in need. I am prosperity. My supply is wherever I am. It comes to me from every direction. I accept this abundance and opulence today. I know that is externalizing itself in my life and affairs. I am prosperity. I am not concerned about the limitation and fears of yesterday. I know that right now everything is made rich. I let go of all my injurious habits of thought, my foolish actions, and my tendency to failure. I separate my thought from any belief in want, incapacity, or inability. I disclaim the idea that I am broke, despondent, poor, crushed, defeated, or dependent. New opportunities are now coming to me. All financial obligations, debts, and pressures are being liquidated. All tension is being released. All unhappy circumstances, conditions, and misunderstandings are being harmonized. Wherever I go, I shall meet prosperous people in prosperous conditions. Whenever I think, I shall think with joy, optimism, happiness, and peace. Whatever I do, I shall do with wisdom, authority, power, and right action. My whole consciousness accepts these truths. I am made rich. I am prosperity. Today, I enter into consciousness of abundance and plenty. I know that this mind model is already established in me, and I thank the universe for its fulfillment. I know that everything I do will prosper. I know that every demand I make upon the universe will be honored. I expect success in all my undertakings. I am demonstrating prosperity because there is nothing in me to deny it. I let blessings, money, and possessions flow into me from every direction. I see abundance everywhere I look. I am opening my mind to a larger influx. I believe that the law of prosperity operates through me. I believe that the law of prosperity operating through me will bless and enrich everyone I meet. Step 2, say, I know that the universe working in and through me is now operating on my desire. Say, I know that I now have the prosperity which I affirm. Say, I know that everything in my experience is working together to bring this about. Feel these patterns deeply, feel them with power, feel them with happiness and conviction. Step 3, remembering Emerson's statement that a prayer for less than the all good is vicious. Make these declarations for everyone who is in need. Quote, O thou divine fountain of life in its fulfillment. O thou divine fountain of life in its fulfillment. Thou who hast put the universe in me to guide me in the way of prosperity and peace. I pray to thee on behalf of those throughout the world who suffer because of lack, want, poverty, hunger, and sickness. Awaken them to a knowledge that the universe is within them. Enable them to know that they may be led out of every danger into ways of peace and plenty if they will but put their trust in the universe. Step 4, at this stage in the meditation, you're ready to let fall your mind models. By that, we mean that you are to put them aside for 10 to 15 minutes and take no thought about them. This is the gestation period. You have made your claim. Now you're going to think about nothing but the universe. Center your whole thought on such statements as these. I and the universe are one. Feel it. The value of repetition can't be emphasized too much. Keep the idea, I am prosperity. And remember the 5 rules of manifestation. 1, get a clear picture of your desire. 2, build your mind models and put them in conspicuous places. 3, repeat your mind models many, many times. 4, identify yourself with your desire. Use your technique not less than twice a day. And 5, maintain absolute secrecy. Do not tell anybody what you are doing. Now remember, whoever's listening, you have access to 1 hour free of prosperity coaching by me, Joel Solomon, your master prosperity coach, if you haven't taken me up on that. And the Money Miracles membership is a very supportive group of people supporting each other. We have accountability partners. We have a private Facebook group called Financial Freedom Can Be Yours, where people are posting their successes, their money manifestations. As of August 2022, we're up to almost $650,000 of money manifestations in less than 1 year. So love to have you join and be part of it. It's only $59 a month in August of 2022 for the basic membership. So that is the book, You Too Can Be Prosperous by Robert A. Russell. Thanks for listening. And remember, I believe in you.